Hello there, thanks for joining me this Wednesday on 7Edition. I'm Sabrina Zainal and these are tonight's headlines. Suspended ECRL project may resume at a smaller scale. Pulau Pinang launches country's first facial recognition CCTV. And millions of women in India form 620-kilometer human chain. We begin with this story. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the East Coast Rail Link ECRL project may be downsized provided that China agrees to do so. In a recent interview with Sin Chew Daily, the Prime Minister said that the Malaysian government is facing a dilemma now, as on the one hand, if the country decides to terminate the project, the government is required to make a substantial compensation. On the other hand, though, the government is facing financial difficulties in executing the project. Tun Dr. Mahathir added that negotiation with the nation on the project is ongoing with no good solutions yet. Both parties, however, have not set a deadline for the discussions. If possible, the government would like to continue the ECRL project, but added that the project was a waste of money with zero return. But he stressed that it must manage its finances so that the money is not wasted. Now, 5 representatives of the Petroleum Dealers Association of Malaysia, PDAM, today met Tun Dr. Mahathir on their concern over the proposed weekly float of fuel prices. Its President, Datuk Khairul Anwar Abdul Aziz, and 4 other representatives met with the Premier for about 45 minutes at Perdana Putra in Putrajaya before the latter chaired the weekly meeting of the Cabinet.
Kami dah jumpa dengan Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad pagi ini, habis pukul 9.30. We have discussed all our proposals and highlighted our concerns, and he seemed to be very understanding. No decision has been made yet. He is now just left for cabinet, so we are looking forward to that lah. Tak ada apa-apa lagi saya boleh cakap until and after the decision is made by cabinet.
Khairul Anwar told reporters that the meeting discussed the association's concerns and proposals on the issue, but did not elaborate further. PDAM had earlier asked the government to raise the fuel sale commission for fuel station operators to reduce any loss they might face due to the fuel price float. Tun Dr. Mahathir yesterday said that the government would make a decision on the proposed weekly float of fuel prices at the meeting of the Cabinet today after taking into account the views of fuel station operators. Now, today's recount of votes for the Pulau Pinang Tasik Gelugor parliamentary seat did not take place. Azila Mehtab Muhammad Ishaq, the lawyer representing Datuk Marzuki Yahya, said the 136 copies of Form 14 of the particular seat will first be scrutinized by the lawyers for all parties involved. Now, Form 14 is a document confirming the total number of votes candidates get at each polling station. The seat was won by Barisan Nasional BN with a razor-thin margin in the 14th general election. Datuk Marzuki Yahya, who is the Deputy Foreign Minister from Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia, had filed the election petition to recount 689 spoilt votes and 297 unreturned votes for the seat. The election court on December 21st allowed an application for a recount of votes in the seat after an election petition was filed by Datuk Marzuki, who lost to BN's Datuk Shabuddin Yahya by 81 votes. Pulau Pinang today became the first state in the country to implement a facial recognition system in public places to combat crime. Hundreds of these cameras have been installed in public places to detect and track down criminals in the streets. Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow today launched the new CCTV system at the Tun Abdul Razak Complex, Komtar. He said the artificial intelligence technology, developed since 2008 in collaboration with the police, involved a cost of 12 million ringgit. The system employs big data analytics, Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence to identify the face of individuals through a computer system linked with the police. For now, there are 767 cameras linked up to the system. When individuals are identified, the system will run through the criminal records and the police will then be alerted if it finds that an individual has been named as a wanted suspect.
It's all about algorithm and pattern tracking. So you need somebody to monitor the data. So there are experts who can do that. So they can see a pattern and they can prevent crime rather than look for the criminal after a crime has occurred. That is what's happening in other countries. So like the CM said just now, this is just the beginning. We need to have more CCTVs installed first of all. And then for me, we need to get experts to come in to decipher, to digest the data so that we can prevent the crime from happening. I share the sentiments of the CM when he said just now perhaps it should be a national effort and where the cost incurred perhaps it should be borne by the federal government because this is an issue that actually comes under the purview of the police.
The state government hopes to increase the number of cameras to 3,000 units from time to time towards better crime prevention. Moving on, the Perak Customs Department has seized 20 tons of firecrackers with a street value of 3 million ringgit at a house in Lahad, Perak. The seizure of the illegal items on December 27th was its biggest haul in 2018. At a media conference today, police revealed that a 37-year-old man was also arrested during the operation and is being remanded for 8 days. The firecrackers were seized at a double-story house located at a guarded residential area.
Ini satu keunikan lah kita menangkap. Selalu kalau kita nak menangkap pun kita dalam kontena. Ini dalam rumah di tempat satu taman yang rumah mewah, ya, yang dimiliki oleh penghuni berkenaan lah, suspek berkenaan lah.
Upon entering, the enforcement team found the entire ground floor filled with firecrackers. Investigations are ongoing, but it is believed that the illegal items were for the New Year's Eve celebration and the upcoming Chinese New Year celebration. The case is being probed as possession of prohibited goods under the Customs Act. In the meantime, the Malaysian Meteorological Department today issued an alert for the East Coast states, predicting strong winds and turbulent seas following Tropical Storm Pabuk currently moving across the South China Sea. Its Director General, Alwi Bahari, said strong winds and rough seas with waves reaching up to 4.5 meters are expected to hit the waters of Kelantan, Terengganu and Pahang until Saturday.
Kita telah pun mengeluarkan amaran cuaca peringkat waspada di Kelantan dan Terengganu untuk hari ini dan esok. Manakala untuk keadaan laut di perairan pantai Kelantan, Terengganu dan Pahang dijangkakan boleh mencapai ombak setinggi 3.5 hingga 4.5 meter dengan kelajuan angin 50 hingga 60 km sejam dan keadaan perairan pantai kita agak berbahaya dan aktiviti pantai terutama di Kelantan dan Terengganu kalau boleh kita tidak lakukanlah aktiviti pantai pada hari ini dan juga pada hari esok.
The Met Department in a statement said that Tropical Storm Pabuk was located 612 kilometers away from Kuala Terengganu and 697 kilometers from Kota Baru. The public can log on to the Met Department's website or the My Cuaca mobile application to get the latest on the storm situation.
Apart from strong winds and turbulent seas, residents of northern Terengganu and Kelantan have also been warned to brace themselves for possible flooding. Terengganu Civil Defence Force Director Lieutenant Colonel Che Adam A. Rahman said residents should make the necessary preparations for a possible deluge in their districts. The winds in some parts of the east coast are currently moving at a speed of 46 kilometers per hour, which is strong enough to cause trees to collapse.
In Pahang, despite being diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, Year 1 pupil Muhammad Hazim Hafifi Mat remained in high spirits as he joined his classmates at SK Sungai Isap Kuantan today. Hazim could not stand up or walk for too long, but he was, nevertheless, eager to join his friends during assembly and participate in activities in class.
According to his mother, Anisa Siddiq, Hazim has been suffering from the disease since he was 9 months old. This after one of his kidneys failed to function properly. She said Hazim, the youngest of 7 siblings, started dialysis treatment at the Tengku Ampuan Afzan Hospital HTAA Kuantan since he was 18 months old and has undergone 10 surgeries. Anisa said although Hazim knows that his body condition does not allow him to move actively like his friends, he still wanted to attend class. Hazim has also been asking his mother for several months about attending school. Even though Hazim would only be able to attend school on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, as he was required to undergo dialysis on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, Anisa said, as a mother, she is touched by his never-say-no attitude and will try her best to ensure that he would attend lessons and continues his studies, just like the other children.
Meanwhile, 4 pairs of twins who were present on the first day of school in Sekolah Kebangsaan Serkam Darat, Merlimau, Melaka, had caught the attention of many. All of the twins will be placed in the same classroom to enable them to learn effectively.
The twins are Muhammad Daniel and Muhammad Danish Azlan, Nur Ain Amirah and Nur Ain Atirah Abdul Malik, Muhammad Nur Airi and Muhammad Nur Airil Ahmad Rezwan, and Mio Rafiq Hazik and Mio Razik Haris Muhammad Rosti. They have the same hairstyle and the same school supplies, making it quite difficult for teachers to tell them apart.
Pagi-pagi dah bangun lah, tak payah kejut. Memang buka pintu je tengok dah bangun.
Memang dah excited tunggu dah lama ke macam mana?
Yalah.
Dari semalam lagi.
Tak sabar.
Kenapa seronok nak pergi sekolah?
Sebab jumpa kawan.
Jumpa kawan. Akhirnya dah besar nak jadi apa?
Doktor.
Jadi doktor.
Pasukan kembar ni akan ditetapkan dalam pasangan masing-masing lah. Kita tak akan bezakan sebab kita bimbang. Bila kita bezakan kedudukan mereka nanti rasa tersisih dengan abang ataupun kakak.
The pupils were excited to see warriors from the Seni Silat Gerak Tepat Umbai Association and Gerbang Melayu Melaka who made performances along with a group of traditional music performers. SK Serkam Darat has 564 students, of which 97 are Year 1 pupils.
Developing children with lots of learning and focusing to do on a daily basis, skipping out on breakfast is not an option, especially now that the school season has kicked off. In light of this, Nestlé's chocolate malt drink, Milo, has called on parents to provide nutritious breakfast for their children to equip them for the hours spent at school.
In order to perform well academically, kids need the energy to be alert at school to absorb what they have been taught. Having a nutritious and substantial breakfast helps to restore the glucose and boost the energy in the children and prepare them for the day ahead.
Bangun pagi, mandi, siap untuk pergi ke sekolah.
Sebelum pergi sekolah tu ada apa?
Ha?
Sebelum pergi sekolah ada sarapan tak?
Ada.
Apa biasa?
Roti dengan Milo.
Dengan Milo. So,
Saya semayang dan saya breakfast dulu lah sebelum pergi sekolah.
For parents, serving their kids with a cup of Milo as part of breakfast is convenient as it contains the Milo Active Go, which is a unique combination of proto malt, vitamins and minerals for nourishing energy.
Tapi so far okey lah, tak ada isu pun. Bangun okey, semangat nak pergi sekolah. Tapi semalam dah bagi tahu dah awal, hari ni nak kena sekolah. So memang dah ready daripada tadi, baju sekolah, kasut sekolah, beg sekolah semua dah siap lah.
dalam masa di sekolah tak kesediakan apa?
Okay, pagi tadi memang suka minum Milo pun. Okay, saya ambilkan 1 kotak air Milo dengan roti bawa pergi sekolah lah.
Selalu kita sediakan sarapan lah. Pagi memang kita sediakan dia air dan kita bagi dia makanan sedikit lah.
Apa yang rasa penting sarapan?
Milo dah tentulah sekali. Dah tentu itu pasti Milo. Dah pasti.
Nampak lori Milo. Jadi semangat tu lebih sikit. Semangat untuk hadir ke sekolah tu memang kita tak dapat nafikan lah. Setiap kali pihak Milo datang memberi minuman percuma, memang ramai murid-murid kita bersorak. Jadi saya bagi pihak sekolah ucapkan terima kasih kepada pihak Nestle kerana mengadakan program ini.
Thanks for staying with us. Manufacturing activity in Malaysia in December suffered the sharpest deterioration in manufacturing business conditions since the survey began 6.5 years ago. The Nikkei Malaysia Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, fell to 46.8 from 48.2 in November. A reading of above 50 indicates an expansion and below 50 points, a contraction.
IHS Markit, which compiles the survey, in a statement today, said harsher reductions in production and new business dragged the headline index deeper into negative territory in December. It said concerns over demand led companies to use existing stocks to clear backlogs and cut back input purchasing. It said that as a result, supply chain pressures alleviated while purchasing costs increased to a weaker extent. Nonetheless, it said confidence strengthened amid upbeat sales forecast for 2019. IHS Markit economist Joseph Hayes said December data revealed the strongest contraction in the Malaysian manufacturing sector that has been ever recorded in the survey's 6.5-year history. Hayes added that negative readings of the PMI have been recorded across each month of the fourth quarter, signalling that the goods-producing sector is likely to heavily weigh on the final gross domestic product GDP print of 2018. He said demand fell markedly, while export orders dropped for the first time since June amid reports of economic weakness across the Asia-Pacific region. With production falling, Hayes said firms cut back stocks of inputs and finished goods, suggesting that prospects for the start of 2019 are likely to remain negative.
Now let's go to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, it's the second day of 2019, and if you're on social media, you'll definitely see your friends and even yourself share memorable stories of the past year. One Facebook user named Nur Ashikin yesterday decided to share an unforgettable tale of what happened to her and her husband. In just under 24 hours, Ashikin's Storytime post went viral with over 19,000 shares, and its videos were watched over 418,000 times. The story starts when one day, Ashikin's mom bought a bunch of sea snails, or more locally known as siput sedut. Ashikin says usually she will cook the seafood on the day itself, but apparently her mom was advised by the seller that you can store them by applying chalk at the sides of the pail. But it seems that the advice can be thrown out of the window, as Ashikin and her husband woke up the next morning with a rout of sea snails all over the floor of her house. They even went over to check the pail if there were any snails left, and indeed it was a team effort. And so the couple cleaned up the sea of a mess as they picked up and gathered all the snails. After all the hard work was done, it was time for a feast. And now, updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today.